Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about the most important opponent you'll ever face, the one in the mirror. That's right, the battle is you against you. It's not the critics, competitors, or circumstances standing in your way. It's the habits, doubts, and excuses you harbor within yourself. Success, growth, and fulfillment aren't external. They're earned in the arena of personal discipline, perseverance, and self-belief. Every single day, you have the power to become a stronger, wiser, and better version of yourself, but only if you conquer the inner obstacles holding you back. Let's dive into 7 key points to help you win the battle of you against you. Recognize the real enemy. The first and most important step in overcoming the battle of you against you is recognizing who the real enemy is. It's easy to point fingers at external factors, people, circumstances, or obstacles that seem to stand in your way. However, the truth is that the biggest challenges we face often come from within. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, I can't do this, or I'm not ready? How often have you hesitated, not because the opportunity wasn't there, but because you doubted yourself? The real battle isn't about what happens around you, it's about what happens inside you. Fear, self-doubt, procrastination, and negative self-talk are the culprits that hold you back. They're the ones convincing you to stay comfortable, play small, and avoid risks. The enemy is the voice that tells you to hit the snooze button instead of starting your day with purpose. It's the part of you that would rather blame circumstances than take responsibility. It's the version of yourself that's tempted to settle for good enough instead of striving for greatness. Recognizing the real enemy requires brutal honesty. It's about looking in the mirror and asking, what am I doing or not doing that's keeping me from where I want to be? It's about owning your fears and understanding that while they may feel real, they're often exaggerated stories we tell ourselves to justify inaction. This isn't an easy realization. It's far more comfortable to blame external factors than to confront the habits, beliefs, and attitudes that need to change. But until you accept that the real battle is within, you'll keep spinning your wheels waiting for the world to change while ignoring the power you have to change yourself. Recognizing the enemy is not about beating yourself up or feeling ashamed of your shortcomings. It's about clarity. It's about realizing that every time you make an excuse, procrastinate, or choose comfort over growth, you're giving power to the part of you that wants to hold you back. By identifying this, you gain the ability to challenge it. You gain the power to take control. Set standards, not just goals. Setting goals is important. They give us direction, purpose, and something to strive for. But goals alone are not enough to transform your life. Goals are the destination, while standards are the behaviors and principles that guide you every step of the way. Without high standards, even the best goals can fall apart. Think about it, goals are future-focused. You set a target, often months or years down the road, and you work toward it. But what happens in the meantime? That's where standards come in. Standards are about the daily choices, habits, and disciplines that define who you are. They are the non-negotiables that determine how you show up regardless of circumstances. When you set high standards, you create a foundation of excellence. It's no longer about doing what's convenient or easy. It's about doing what's necessary and aligned with your values. Standards ensure that your actions are consistent, even when motivation fades. Motivation is fleeting, but standards are enduring. They act as a compass that keeps you on course, no matter how difficult the journey gets. For example, a goal might be to lose weight, but a standard would be committing to eating nutritious meals and exercising regularly, no matter how busy or tired you feel. A goal might be to grow your business, but a standard would be delivering exceptional service to every customer, even when things aren't going smoothly. Standards demand discipline, and discipline demands consistency. When you hold yourself to high standards, you create a system for success. You stop relying on willpower or external validation and start building habits that serve you in the long term. Your standards shape your identity. They determine not just what you achieve, but who you become in the process. Another key difference between goals and standards is that standards apply every single day. You may not reach your goal for months, but your standards are in effect right now. They dictate how you handle today's challenges, how you treat others, and how much effort you put into your work. Over time, these small, daily actions compound into massive results. Standards also protect you from inconsistency. Without clear standards, you risk falling into the trap of negotiating with yourself. You might justify skipping a workout, cutting corners on a project, or settling for less than your best. But when your standards are set in stone, you eliminate that negotiation. You don't have to decide whether to do the right thing, it's simply what you do. It's also important to remember that setting standards doesn't mean being perfect. It means holding yourself accountable to a higher level of performance and integrity. It means committing to do your best, even when it's hard, inconvenient, or uncomfortable. When you live by your standards, you not only achieve your goals, you exceed them. Challenge the comfort zone. The comfort zone is a tempting place. It feels safe, predictable, and familiar. It's where routines are easy, risks are low, and you don't have to face the fear of failure. But here's the truth: nothing extraordinary ever happens in the comfort zone. Growth, success, and fulfillment all live beyond its borders. When you stay in your comfort zone, you limit your potential. You settle for what's easy instead of pursuing what's meaningful. You let fear and complacency dictate your actions, avoiding challenges that could push you to become better. While the comfort zone offers a sense of security, it comes at a cost: a life of missed opportunities, untapped potential, and unrealized dreams. Challenging the comfort zone is about embracing discomfort as a necessary ingredient for growth. Discomfort isn't something to fear, it's something to seek. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, you expand it. What once seemed intimidating becomes manageable, and what once seemed impossible becomes achievable. Growth doesn't happen when things are easy, it happens when you stretch yourself to tackle new and difficult challenges. One of the reasons we resist stepping out of our comfort zone is the fear of failure. We're afraid of being judged, making mistakes, or falling short of expectations. But failure is not the opposite of success, it's a stepping stone to it. Every failure teaches you something valuable and moves you closer to your goals. When you challenge the comfort zone, you redefine failure not as a setback, but as a necessary part of progress. Another barrier to leaving the comfort zone is the fear of uncertainty. The unknown can feel overwhelming because it lacks the predictability we crave. But it's in uncertainty that opportunities lie. Some of the greatest breakthroughs and achievements come from taking risks and venturing into the unknown. The more you embrace uncertainty, the more resilient and adaptable you become. Challenging the comfort zone doesn't always mean making big, dramatic changes. It can start with small, consistent steps. Try doing something every day that scares you, whether it's speaking up in a meeting, learning a new skill, or starting a difficult conversation. Over time, these small acts of courage build the confidence and momentum needed to tackle larger challenges. It's also important to recognize that growth is not linear. When you challenge the comfort zone, you will face setbacks, doubts, and struggles. That's part of the process. What matters is not avoiding discomfort, but persevering through it. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to learn, grow, and prove to yourself what you're capable of. When you avoid the comfort zone, you stay stuck in a cycle of mediocrity, but when you embrace it, you discover that you're stronger, braver, and more capable than you ever imagined. You begin to see discomfort not as something to escape, but as something to embrace. It becomes a sign that you're on the right path, a path of growth, transformation, and self-discovery. Defeat excuses with action. Excuses are the silent thieves of progress. They creep into our minds, often disguised as reasonable explanations, and quietly sabotage our goals. They convince us to delay, avoid, or settle for less. Excuses give us a false sense of comfort by shifting the responsibility away from ourselves and onto external factors: time, resources, circumstances, or even other people. But the truth is, excuses are nothing more than self-imposed limitations, and the only way to overcome them is with decisive action. When you make excuses, you're essentially giving power to your fears and doubts. You're allowing the what-ifs and the I can teas to dictate your actions. Excuses are rooted in a desire to protect ourselves from discomfort, failure, or criticism. They tell us it's okay to wait for the perfect moment, but the perfect moment rarely arrives. The only thing excuses guarantee is stagnation. Action, on the other hand, is the antidote to excuses. It cuts through the noise of doubt and hesitation. When you take action, you reclaim control over your circumstances. You shift your focus from what's holding you back to what's possible. Action creates momentum, and momentum builds confidence. Even small, imperfect actions are more powerful than the most elaborate excuses. One of the most common excuses is the belief that you need to feel ready before you begin. But readiness is a myth. You don't wait to feel motivated to act to create motivation. Every time you take a step forward, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that progress is possible. This, in turn, fuels your desire to keep going. Excuses also thrive on overthinking. When you spend too much time analyzing and planning, you create a mental maze that makes it harder to move forward. Action simplifies this process. It takes you out of your head and into the real world, where progress happens. You don't need to have all the answers before you start. You just need to take the first step. Another way excuses manifest is through the illusion of perfection. You might tell yourself, I'll start when the timing is right, or I'll wait until I have everything figured out, but perfection is a trap. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of inaction, waiting for ideal conditions that never come. Action, on the other hand, embraces imperfection. It's about doing your best with what you have and learning as you go. It's also important to recognize that excuses often stem from fear of failure, fear of rejection, or fear of the unknown. Action doesn't eliminate fear, but it diminishes its power. The more you act despite fear, the more resilient and confident you become. You realize that fear is just a feeling, not a fact, and it doesn't have to dictate your choices. Excuses are comfortable because they absolve us of responsibility, but action empowers us to take ownership of our lives. It shifts the narrative from I can't because to I will. No matter what, each time you choose action over excuses, you reinforce a mindset of determination and possibility. You prove to yourself that you are capable of overcoming obstacles and achieving your goals. Defeating excuses is not about waiting for the right conditions or the right feelings. It's about making a decision to act, even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. It's about refusing to let fear, doubt, or procrastination win. Every excuse you overcome is a victory that brings you closer to the person you want to be and the life you want to create. Focus on progress, not perfection. Perfection is a seductive idea. It promises a flawless outcome, free of mistakes and imperfections. But striving for perfection often does more harm than good. It sets an unattainable standard that leads to frustration, self-doubt, and ironically, inaction. Perfectionism convinces you that if you can't do something perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. In reality, the pursuit of perfection can paralyze you, keeping you from making progress and reaching your goals. Progress, on the other hand, is the antidote to perfectionism. It's about moving forward step by step, even if the path isn't perfect. Progress recognizes that growth and achievement are not about flawless execution, but about consistent effort over time. When you focus on progress, you give yourself permission to learn, make mistakes, and improve. You shift your mindset from all or nothing to always something. Perfection is a fixed mindset. It demands that you get everything right the first time, leaving no room for experimentation or learning. But life doesn't work that way. Success is a process of trial and error, of refining your skills and strategies as you go. Progress embraces this reality. It values the journey as much as the destination, understanding that each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory in itself. One of the biggest traps of perfectionism is procrastination. You tell yourself you're waiting for the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect conditions. But the truth is, perfectionism is often a mask for fear of failure, fear of criticism, or fear of not being enough. Progress, however, doesn't require perfection. It only requires action. Even imperfect action moves you closer to your goals than doing nothing. Focusing on progress also shifts your perspective on mistakes. In the pursuit of perfection, mistakes are seen as failures. They're something to be avoided at all costs. But in the pursuit of progress, mistakes are opportunities to learn and grow. Every misstep teaches you something valuable, helping you refine your approach and build resilience. Progress celebrates effort and improvement, even if the outcome isn't perfect. Another benefit of focusing on progress is that it builds momentum. Each small win fuels your motivation and confidence, creating a positive cycle of action and achievement. Perfection, by contrast, can be overwhelming. The gap between where you are and where you think you should be can feel insurmountable, making it hard to even start. Progress breaks that gap into manageable steps, showing you that every small effort adds up over time. Progress also fosters self-compassion. When you focus on progress, you allow yourself to be human, to have strengths and weaknesses, successes and setbacks. You stop holding yourself to impossible standards and start appreciating the effort you're putting in. This self-compassion not only makes the journey more enjoyable, but also helps you stay committed in the long run. Perfection is a destination that doesn't exist. No matter how much you achieve, there will always be room for improvement. Progress, however, is a path you can walk every day. It's about becoming better than you were yesterday, not about being perfect today. Progress reminds you that growth is a lifelong journey, not a one-time event. Focusing on progress over perfection is about embracing the idea that small, consistent steps lead to big changes. It's about valuing effort and persistence more than flawless results. It's about understanding that success is not about being perfect. It's about showing up, doing the work, and moving forward, no matter how imperfect the process may be. Control your inner dialogue. The voice inside your head is one of the most powerful forces in your life. It can either lift you up or tear you down. It can be your greatest ally or your most relentless critic. This inner dialogue, what you tell yourself day in and day out, shapes your beliefs, behaviors, and ultimately your reality. If you want to grow, succeed, and become the best version of yourself, you must take control of your inner dialogue. Your thoughts are the foundation of your actions. Every decision you make and every challenge you face is influenced by what you believe about yourself and the world around you. When your inner dialogue is filled with negativity, doubt, and fear, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You hesitate, hold back, and settle for less because you've convinced yourself that you're not capable or deserving of more. Negative self-talk often disguises itself as rational thinking. You might hear thoughts like, "I'm just being realistic," or "What if I fail?" These thoughts may seem harmless, but over time they erode your confidence and limit your potential. They focus on what's wrong, what's missing, or what could go wrong rather than on what's possible. To control your inner dialogue, the first step is awareness. Pay attention to the stories you're telling yourself. Are they empowering or disempowering? Are they rooted in possibility or in limitation? Awareness is the key to breaking the cycle of automatic negative thoughts. When you become conscious of your inner dialogue, you can begin to challenge and change it. Replacing negative thoughts with positive and constructive ones takes practice, but it's a skill anyone can develop. Start by reframing your self-talk. Instead of saying, "I can't do this, say, I'll find a way to figure this out." Instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," remind yourself, "I'm capable and willing to learn." Positive self-talk doesn't mean ignoring challenges. It means choosing to focus on solutions and opportunities instead of obstacles. Visualization and affirmations can also play a powerful role in controlling your inner dialogue. Visualize yourself succeeding, achieving your goals, and overcoming obstacles. This mental rehearsal trains your mind to focus on positive outcomes. Similarly, affirmation statements that reinforce your strengths and potential help rewire your brain for confidence and resilience. Another key aspect of controlling your inner dialogue is to separate facts from feelings. Just because you feel afraid, unprepared, or inadequate doesn't mean those feelings are true. Emotions are temporary and often based on assumptions or past experiences. Learn to question your thoughts. Is this thought based on evidence, or is it just fear talking? By challenging unhelpful thoughts, you take away their power over you. Surrounding yourself with positivity can also influence your inner dialogue. The people you interact with, the content you consume, and the environments you spend time in all impact your mindset. Choose influences that uplift and inspire you. When you're immersed in positivity, it becomes easier to think positively about yourself and your abilities. Remember, controlling your inner dialogue is not about eliminating all negative thoughts. It's about managing them. Doubts and fears will still arise, but when you take charge of your inner dialogue, you can acknowledge those thoughts without letting them control you. You learn to respond with courage and determination instead of giving in to self-limiting beliefs. When you control your inner dialogue, you take control of your destiny. You replace doubt with confidence, fear with action, and limitation with possibility. The voice inside your head becomes a source of strength and encouragement, guiding you toward the life you want to create. Ultimately, the greatest battle you'll ever fight is the one within yourself. It's not about competing with others or proving your worth to the world. It's about becoming the best version of you. Each time you defeat your excuses with action, challenge your comfort zone, and silence the voice of doubt with empowering thoughts, you take a step closer to realizing your potential. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about embracing the journey, learning from your mistakes, and celebrating every victory, no matter how small. The only person standing in your way is you, and the only person who can break through is also you. So make the decision today to rise above the limitations you've placed on yourself. Set your standards high, focus on what you can do right now, and never stop pushing forward. Because in the end, it's you against you, and you have everything you need to win.